a look at the calendar. And if I look at the calendar for February, we can see we have several events that are listed. We had a table read to go over our presentation and tweak it and make sure that we covered everything that we needed to. If I click on that as a resident or even as an administrator, you will see the information table read. It tells you the date, the time. I can even add it to my calendar. So I'm going to go back. And now you'll notice that there's a red edit button. That red edit button is a quick access for you to edit the page. So if I were to click here, I would be able to go into that content and edit some of the information. The red edit button is for administrators. So if you're not an administrator for the education test group, you will not see that edit button. But for those groups that you do administer, you will see that. So if you have 7 groups, when you scroll over that item on your calendar, you'll be able to edit it. And this is one of the ways that you would be able to do that. The event next to it is a registration demo that we were conducting. And I was putting some party in, I was playing around. There's information for registration. We're not going to be discussing event registration today. Before I show you how to get the information on the page, I want to point out that we do have a calendar, a section calendar, that if you choose to post it on this section calendar, you will see that you can scroll through. It goes up to a month. So this is nice because it allows you a quick access without having to go into the actual calendar page. Now, how do we get everything on the calendar? So we're going to go up to our admin drop down, and I'm going to the club calendar of events. So before we create something new, let's take a look at this page. In the upper right-hand corner, we have my name and then my current member facility. And we don't have a listing of all of these in the box. They're looking at creating a different type of drop-down. But for now, I default to my neighborhood. I want to work on the education test page. So I have to go in and click education test. And I've made the mistake of going directly into my new item and putting it on the calendar and then seeing that it wasn't where I expected it. And that was because I failed to do this. This is only a concern if you're an administrator for more than one group. If you have only one group, you have no problem. It should be the group that you work on would be listed up there. So this little yellow box gives us a listing. Primarily what I'm going to focus on here is the month. So this is February, and it's showing us all the events in February. If I wanted to see all of the events, I would click all. So you can see now that I have additional events covering February, March, and actually somebody's getting a head start and planning for December. So looking at the listing of all the items, you have a date, you have a start time, an end time, you have the event itself. If you click that event, you see the text, and then your general page recaps all of the features that you've selected. So I'm going to go back. This tells me that it's an active event. You could actually put an event on your calendar and just leave it in draft form. But if this toggle says Y, that means yes, it's active. If it's N, it's no. And you can always come back and activate it right here, just from this listing of events. You don't even have to go further into the editing. Section, yes, that's section calendar, or the blue box that I just showed you. And you click a particular location on, once we get into building the event, and that designates that you want those boxes. You don't have to have them. This says there's no registration. We have some security settings, and then we have properties. And again, the properties are going to take you back, telling you all of the features that you've selected for this event. So let's go and take a look and create a new event. So I'm going to create a new event, and I'll just call this, let me see, Lenten Fish Friday. I have to do something different. I get confused if all my titles are too much alike. So I'm going to look at the category of the, not the category at this point, but the event date. And I'm going to set this for the 26th. And then I'm going to say our fish fry, our Fish Friday is going to be from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So now I've got the time established, and then I have the security access. The security access allows you to designate whether this is something for all people within Sun City, which would be private. If this is for members only, let's say your particular group only wanted to offer this event to members of your group, then you would click membership only, and only the members of the club would see it on your calendar. Public allows anyone outside of Sun City to see it. So this allows for both the community at large and then the community within Sun City. And public only, which is more of a marketing. There's no registration required, but when we get to advanced training, we could set up a registration for this. And when I said those blue boxes with the calendar information are on the page, if I unclick this, they will not be there. So it's a default. You could change it at any time, even after the event is posted. And then if you wanted to create another event, you could click this box, and then another create form would come up. So you don't have to keep going back and forth in and out of the edit. So we're going to create, but before I do, and because this is an event that's private and anyone in Sun City can use it, I'm going to put the name of our group. What I've noticed that I've been guilty of, and I've seen some others have done it as well, is I might put something on my calendar and say, oh, book club. And then because it's private, which means anyone in the community of Sun City could look at it, it goes on the big community calendar and says book group. Well, it's not really the book group for the entire community. It might be just for my neighborhood. So there's no way for me to know that if I don't put the name of my group in the event description. So that's important when you're going to put something on the calendar and list it for the entire community. You want people to know which group you're talking about, because if every club went out there and put monthly meeting and didn't put the group, we'd have a lot of confused people walking around. So I'm just going to put education test here. And I'll just put education to make it easy. So I'm going to create the event. And I'm actually going to increase my screen size a little bit because I had someone get back to me that had a little difficulty reading what I was referring to. So Education Test is sponsoring a Lenten Friday, Friday a Lenten Friday fish fry. Call, I'm going to put email is better, email Susan Petro if interested. So above this box where you put your content, your full page text, you have all of the editing tools that you would see on your computer, on your iPad, whenever you're creating a text document. So I could take this and I could center the information. I could make some of it bold. So if I wanted to highlight the group, I could put it as bold. If I wanted to add some background color, I could put some background color. I could put a table in. There's all of these features that would allow you to customize the content. Now, up here, this looks like a little chain link. And you could see popped up as a hyperlink manager. So what that means is that I can contact to some information that's somewhere else, either on this page or even in another website in the internet. So I'm going to put email Susan Petro. I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to click this hyperlink. And I'm not creating a link to a website. I'm not creating an anchor. I'm creating an email link. So I will put my email. Don't worry about that unlock. That's my husband's password locker. And it just pops up all the time now. I got to get him to change that. So you can see that now there's a link created that when I click, once I save this, will bring up my email screen or your email screen for you to get in touch with me. Likewise, if I highlighted that, I could go back, and this is a broken link. So I'm going to remove the link. And if you hover over some of these, you're not sure what they are, you could see the name of the link will pop up. So I can remove that. We also have at the bottom some additional tools that you can use, and we'll cover some of these as we go through today. There's a file cabinet for local images. These are images that you upload to the website. This is global images. Those are images that the members first group has provided that we could use. So if I clicked on that and wanted to put something in here, a picture, I could actually go through all of their types of options. The first thing I would have to do would be to select where I want that picture to go. So in this instance, I'm going down to the file cabinet, going to check global, and let me just see. They have signs, swimming, don't have anything for food. I'm just going to put something for, I'm just going to put St. Patty's Day. We'll mix our holidays. And then I can enter a picture right underneath there. If I want to resize that picture, I could either drag those corners. I don't like to work that way because I'm not very good at it, but I could go into, click on it, as I showed, properties, and then now go into that property screen. and I can change the size. So if I want this to be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, I can just make that change. It'll automatically adjust the other side. And I can even designate the alignment where I want this to appear. So once you're done with all of that, you can click OK. You see that I put it off to the side. And just to do a quick look at the reading tools, we have some templates again when we get to advanced. We also have that hyperlink again that I could create links down here as well. And the last little hyperlink is a content hyperlink. And I love Mike Joyce's description. It looks like a flip phone, an old flip phone. And that will allow you to pick content that you've put on the page. So if you have something in a library and you want to include that on your calendar event, you could do that. So I mention those because sometimes I don't always get to them, and I just wanted to make sure that we covered that today. So I'm going to go back to the normal size because those little icons were a little hard to see. And then back to my general page. This recaps everything that I've set up for the calendar. So yes, I have education's Lenten fish fry, the date, the time, the education test. I know I'm in the right group. It's active, so it will appear on the calendar. If I take it off, it's only a draft. I might go back and say, let me go find some fish instead of a shamrock. So I don't want it posted until I can find the appropriate picture to go with it. But for the demonstration, we're going to keep it active. And then again, the security access, all of the descriptions for the security access are in the glossary. So you don't need to be writing all of that down. Use the glossary. And then show on the section calendar, those are those blue blocks. And I always like something that's upcoming to be right up front where I can see it on the page. So I will leave that checked. There's a little note here that tells you some calendar events may take up to 10 minutes. So that is just to be aware that the section calendar may not be there immediately. It's not that it didn't work, it's just it's processing. So I save that page. I'm going to close out so I don't start collecting too many open tabs. And then now I'm going to go back. I'll refresh the page. And I'm going to look first at our calendar. And I can see the fish fry that education is sponsoring for Friday in Lent. So I can click on this and this will show me what I entered. I can even add it to my calendar. Then I can go back. If I want to edit it, I can go back and I can say, oh gee, what a dumb thing. Why do I have that there? Let's get rid of this. So I could just click on that. And again, remember to save and close. So the event will save and close again. And if you click on it, you can see I got rid of the shamrock. So this, again, is a quick way to be able to edit something on your calendar.